How about we have every member of Congress take a drug test? Let's see who's willing to pass that test. I am, but I'm guessing a lot of my colleagues on the left side of the aisle would not be willing to do so. So he needs to sit down and shut up.
Before we get into this topic today, give me a few seconds to talk about something that I think is very important. There is a fundraiser on this video for the National Network of Abortion Funds that I'm asking you to donate to. Whatever amount, any amount, no donation is too small. Every year, Brittany Page and I run a fundraiser during the month of June to recognize the continued fallout of the overturning of Roe v. Wade in 2022. Across the country, women are still in desperate need of essential health care that they are sometimes forced to flee the state in which they live to obtain. That's where the National Network of Abortion Funds comes in. They work with nearly 100 independent abortion funds to ensure women who contact the funds have access to factual evidence-based information, but also these funds provide financial and logistical support to those who need to travel to obtain an abortion. Your donation could help them cover the cost of the procedure for someone desperately needing it, as well as the costs associated with transportation out of state if that's necessary. If you are not in a financial position to give to this fundraiser, please don't feel any pressure to do so. You can simply share this video with a friend, share information about the National Network of Abortion Funds, and try to make some people more aware of these organizations that are doing this critical work. If you can donate, I would encourage you to do so while we are running this fundraiser and trying to generate as much support for this very worthy cause as we can. Thanks. So there was a vote yesterday whether to move forward with a resolution to impeach Donald Trump or to table the motion. And tabling the motion was ultimately the result of it. And I'm not going to get into some debate right now about the efficacy of trying to impeach Donald Trump at this early stage when we don't have the support in Congress, when the Republicans have the majority, and when you're in the House, the majority really does run roughshod over the minority. They have all the power there. Unlike the Senate, where there's some parliamentary games and there's some anachronistic types of procedures, and it's just a different scene. But Andy Ogles is about the biggest sycophant, ass-kissing clown show in the House of Representatives. And that's saying something. He's a guy who put forward a bill about make Greenland great again and wanted to give Donald Trump the authority to just claim Greenland as a state, I guess, a territory at the very least. He put forward a bill to amend the Constitution of the United States in order to give Donald Trump a third term in office. There are a whole bunch of insane things. I don't know if it's him or one of his colleagues that wants to print a $250 bill. $250 for some reason. You'd think it would be like $4,700 or something. And put Donald Trump's face on it. They really are obsequious, just ass clowns. They love to make Donald Trump feel good about himself because they know at their core he is a weak, feckless, insecure child inside. He was either not hugged enough or maybe hugged too much. Nobody knows. We'll probably never know. But he'll die a sad, sad man. Just like he lived, a sad, broken, afraid child. And Andy Ogles, as a result of this vote, I'm going to read a little bit about it, but Andy Ogles went on Newsmax with Todd Starnes yesterday and was about as racist and grossly inappropriate about Al Green, the man who you'll remember stood up during Donald Trump's his congressional address and told him, you don't have a mandate to cut Social Security. You don't have a mandate to cut Medicaid. There was a censure vote. Many Democrats disgracefully joined in that censure vote. I've talked about that at length. Still remember, Jared Moskowitz talking to you. And Andy Ogles went on this screed, not screaming, but he's being aggressive, saying to the host, Todd Starnes, that Al Green should sit down and shut up. He's always running off at the mouth, and that he should be drug tested. So, just so we have the lay of the land, just so we have the scoreboard marked appropriately, you have a white Southerner telling an elderly black man that, one, he must be on drugs. Yeah, nice. And he needs to sit down and shut up. Know your place, black man. I mean, the only thing that would have made this more on brand for Republicans is for Andy Ogles to have called him boy. I was going to read from this Axios article, but I tell you what, we'll just play this clip now that I've prepped you for it, and then we'll talk about the vote on the other side.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Democrats trying to impeach the president because he has a potty mouth. Congressman Al Green, let's take a listen to what he had to say, Congressman.
I believe that the President of the United States has committed an impeachable act. H-Res 57 addresses abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian government.
I kind of got caught up there on the word authoritarian.
Right.
Congressman, what's fascinating is this went down in great defeat. Even Democrats voted against their own guy here.
Well, Obama, I mean, you look historically, you've had other presidents who've had to do similar, take similar actions as President Trump. And look, you know, before we talk about impeaching President Trump, how about we have every member of Congress take a drug test? Let's see who's willing to pass that test. I am, but I'm guessing a lot of my colleagues on the left side of the aisle would not be willing to do so. So he needs to sit down and shut up, because he's always running off at the mouth. He's always spouting off at the mouth. He has nothing constructive to say. I, for one, am sick of it. So let's point the finger at him and say, sit down, shut up. Let's take a drug test for members of Congress and see who's left standing. I will be. I'm not sure many of my colleagues on the left would.
Wow.
First of all, let's correct the lies, the disinformation, the misinformation, the propaganda coming from the host, Todd Starnes, that Democrats want to impeach the president because of his potty mouth. No one wants to impeach Donald Trump because he said the F word yesterday on the White House lawn. No one. That's not why. And if that's what you think it is, you're either woefully uninformed, stupid, or some unholy amalgam of all of them, you grapefruit on a toothpick, Todd Starnes. They want to impeach Donald Trump, and I think it's too early to do so because of what I've said about the makeup of the majority in the House of Representatives. They want to impeach him because of him violating Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution, not consulting with Congress before declaring war. And if, again, you don't think dropping dozens of 30,000-pound bombs on a country is war, you've been playing too many video games, all right? Now, as far as the vote, this is how it went down. Here's a headline from Axios. Dems join GOP to kill vote impeaching Trump over Iran strikes. House Democrats overwhelmingly joined with their Republican colleagues Tuesday against holding a vote to impeach President Trump for striking Iranian nuclear sites unilaterally. It's the clearest signal. I want you to really pay attention to this next line. This is a failure of traditional journalism. This is a failure of corporate media. It should come as no surprise to you that Axios was co-founded by Alex Thompson, the same ghoul who joined Jake Tapper in writing the smear, the hit piece about Joe Biden. It is the clearest signal to date that the distaste many Democrats have with the idea of even attempting to impeach Trump, an effort that would likely fail in either chamber of Congress. I don't know, author of this, I didn't include it in my notes here, but I don't recall any Democrat having distaste for impeaching Donald Trump. Impeachment is a political process. Therefore, the timing has to be right for it. Early on, I was critical of Nancy Pelosi before the first impeachment of Donald Trump that we weren't pulling the trigger on it when we had control of the House. We eventually did it. I believe it was too late then, but it's too early now. Wait until after the midterms. Wait until we have a majority in the House and a majority in the Senate, and then push it hard. Convict him in the Senate, which is a high bar, especially with the makeup of this MAGA Senate. But we need to be strategic about this political process. Representative Al Green, Texas, forced a vote on a 5-page impeachment resolution accusing Trump of, quote, disregarding the separation of powers and devolving American democracy into authoritarianism by unconstitutionally usurping Congress's power to declare war. Article 1, Section 8. Also, nothing in there in this reporting, nothing that I've seen, even when I read the resolution, nothing about Donald Trump saying "f**k" on the lawn of the White House. Because Democrats have respect for what the rules are. And impeachment is for high crimes and misdemeanors, not cursing, not talking like an adult, dipshits. It focuses on the fact that Trump did not seek congressional authorization for the strikes or provide evidence demonstrating that there was an imminent threat to the United States forces. The House voted 344 to 79 on a motion to table or kill Green's article of impeachment. Among Democrats, 128 voted with Republicans to defeat Green's measure, while 79 voted to bring it to the floor. For your information, if I was in Congress, I'm not, thankfully, but if I was in Congress, I would have been one of the 128. I would have voted against this because it's not time yet. I have immense respect for Al Green. I think that his heart is in the right place. I think that this, from a political process point of view and a strategy point of view, is just too early. There'll be time. Right now is just not it. Anyway, what do you think? I would appreciate your feedback on this matter. I really want your opinion. Am I wrong? Is it not too early? Could we secure impeachment and a conviction in the Senate, or one or the other? Well, it has to be impeachment because you can't get to conviction without impeachment. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If you're interested in supporting independent media, and if this is the independent media channel that you're interested in supporting, you can click the join button below this video right here, become a channel member for $2 a month, or you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Follow me on social media. If you're around on the social media, I am @Dollemore. I would love to see you there, and I will see you next time. Well, you'll see me. I'll be staring into a camera. Be genuine. Take care of one another.